If you're over 60, I want you to imagine this. You go to bed after a healthy dinner, feeling proud of your choices. But by morning, your brain may be at risk. No chest pain, no warning. Just a sudden slurred word, a weak arm, or a dizzy spell that feels like it came out of nowhere. And here's the part that shocks most seniors when I tell them it's not from fried food or fast food. It's from a vegetable. Yes, a vegetable that you've been told for decades is one of the healthiest things you can put on your plate. I've seen it far too often in my years of working with older adults. Foods that once helped keep you strong at 40 can quietly backfire at 70. Especially when combined with common medications or eaten at the wrong time of day. And the scariest part, you may not feel a thing until it's too late. But here's the good news. You don't have to give up vegetables or live in fear of food. What you need is awareness, because when you understand how your aging body processes food differently, you can keep enjoying your meals safely, wisely, and in a way that protects your brain and independence. So in today's video, we're uncovering 9 common vegetables that may quietly raise your stroke risk if you're over 60, and more importantly, how to eat them in a safer, smarter way. And I'll tell you this, the last vegetable on this list is one almost every senior eats weekly, and it may be the most dangerous of all. Before we dive in, let me know in the comments where are you tuning in from today. I love seeing the Ageless Vitality community grow all around the world. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a senior health tip that could truly change your life. Now let's begin with a vegetable you probably thought was your best friend, but can become a hidden enemy for your brain after 6. Vegetable number 1, spinach. The two-faced vegetable and one friend of your brain. For decades, spinach has been praised as this super green. Doctors, dietitians, even cartoon characters told us it builds iron, strengthens muscles, and keeps our bodies young. And it's true. Spinach is packed with magnesium, fiber, and antioxidants that help the heart and bones. But here's the shocking truth. After 60, spinach can quietly shift from friend to foe if you're not careful about when and how you eat it. Here's why. Spinach is naturally rich in oxalates, compounds that bind tightly to calcium in your body. In younger adults, the kidneys usually flush these oxalates out without much trouble. But as we age, kidney function slows, blood vessels stiffen, and many seniors begin taking calcium and vitamin D supplements for bone health. Put those pieces together, and the oxalates from spinach can team up with calcium, forming tiny calcium oxalate crystals in the bloodstream. At first you don't feel them, but over months and years these crystals can harden and narrow the small blood vessels that feed the brain. Think of it like little bits of sand building up in a narrow pipe. Eventually blood flow slows, oxygen supply drops, and one day it only takes a small clot to cut off circulation completely, triggering a silent stroke overnight. This is exactly what happened to one of my patients, Harold Briner, a 76-year-old retired firefighter from Milwaukee. Harold believed he was doing everything right. Every evening, he'd fix himself a spinach salad with a sprinkle of feta cheese, followed by his vitamin D and calcium supplements for strong bones, as he proudly told me. For years it was his nightly routine. But one winter morning, Harold's wife found him slumped at the kitchen table, his coffee spilled, his words jumbled. He had suffered a stroke in his sleep. His scans showed narrowed calcified arteries in the brain, and blood work revealed high levels of calcium and oxalate. The perfect storm that had been quietly brewing for months. Harold survived, but he never drove again and now walks with assistance. With tears in his eyes, he told me, "Doc, I was just trying to eat healthy. I didn't know my salad could hurt me." That's the heartbreaking reality many seniors face. Not because spinach is bad, but because our bodies change with age. What once healed can quietly harm if we don't adapt. So here's what you need to know. Timing matters. If you love spinach, enjoy it in the morning, or at lunchtime when your body can process it better. Talk to your doctor, especially if you're taking calcium or vitamin D supplements, or if you have kidney or heart issues. Balance, not overload. A handful here and there is fine. It's the nightly routine overconsumption that creates problems. Spinach is still a nutrient powerhouse, but after 65 it comes with rules. Respect those rules, and spinach can stay your ally. Ignore them and it may become a silent enemy to your brain. Vegetable Dem 2. Vegetable number 2. Broccoli. Heart helper or hidden brain risk. Eat your broccoli. Most of us grew up hearing that phrase at the dinner table, and for good reason. Broccoli is rich in fiber, antioxidants, and vitamins that support heart health and fight disease. For decades, it's been the poster child for a smart, wholesome diet. But here's what many seniors don't realize. After 60, broccoli can quietly turn risky, not because of the vegetable itself, but because of how it interacts with the medications so many older adults take every day. The hidden issue lies in vitamin K, a nutrient found in high amounts in broccoli. Vitamin K is essential for blood clotting. When you're younger, that's a good thing. It helps your body stop bleeding and heal. But for seniors taking blood-thinning medications like warfarin, Plavix, or even daily aspirin, vitamin K can upset a very delicate balance. Here's how it works. If you suddenly eat a lot of broccoli while on blood thinners, your blood may clot too much, raising your risk for stroke or heart attack. If your intake of broccoli changes drastically from week to week, it can make your medication unpredictable, leaving your blood either too thick or too thin. And the scariest part, you won't feel it happening until it's too late. Take Clara Newton, an 82-year-old retired school teacher from Pennsylvania. Clara did everything right. She took her medications faithfully, and ate steamed broccoli with olive oil every evening, believing it kept her heart young. But what she didn't know was that her daily broccoli intake was interfering with her blood thinner. Her blood became unstable, swinging between clotting and thinning. One afternoon, after complaining of a mild headache and confusion, Clara collapsed. At the hospital, scans revealed she had suffered a hemorrhagic stroke, bleeding inside the brain, not from high blood pressure or trauma, but because her blood had become too thin to clot. Clara survived, but her life changed forever. Today she walks with a walker and speaks slower. She shares her story with others now, warning them, don't assume healthy food is harmless. Not at our age. So here's the lesson for anyone over 60. Broccoli itself isn't the villain. The danger comes from inconsistent. If you're on blood thinners, you don't need to cut out broccoli completely. What you need is to eat it in consistent amounts and communicate openly with your doctor. That way your medication can be adjusted safely and your risk stays under control. And remember, as we age, our blood vessels become thinner and more fragile. What might cause a mild problem in a younger adult can mean devastating consequences for someone in their 70s or 80s. So yes, broccoli can still be part of your diet, but treat it with respect. Consistency, moderation and medical guidance are the keys to making sure this health food doesn't quietly put your brain at risk. Vegetable number 3, romaine lettuce. Light and vegetables, refreshing, but risky at night. For many seniors, a salad at dinner feels like the smartest, healthiest choice. Light, low in calories, easy on digestion. It seems like the perfect way to stay in shape and protect your heart. And romaine lettuce is often the star of those salads. Crisp, refreshing and praised for its vitamins and fiber. But here's the truth. Most older adults are never told. Eating Roma at the wrong time, especially in the evening, can quietly raise your risk of stroke by morning. The reason lies in Roma's natural effect as a diuretic. In simple terms, it gently encourages your body to release water. For younger people, this is barely noticeable, but after 65 it can tip the balance in a dangerous way, especially if you're already taking blood pressure pills, diuretics, or following a low-sodium diet. Why? Because dehydration in seniors doesn't always show up as thirst. As we age, the body's thirst signals weaken. You may not feel dehydrated, but your blood volume shrinks, making your blood thicker, more like syrup than water. and thick blood moving through narrow aging arteries, is the perfect recipe for clots. One wrong shift in blood pressure while you sleep, and a clot can lodge in the brain. That's exactly what happened to Leon Carter, a 75-year-old retired factory worker from Indianapolis. Leon did what many of you might consider healthy every night. He made a big Roma salad with cucumbers and vinegar. He skipped heavy dinners, exercised daily, and stayed active in his church. But one morning, his wife found him confused, his speech slurred and his right arm weak. He had suffered a mild stroke overnight. At the hospital, doctors found signs of dehydration and thicker than normal blood. Combined with his blood pressure medication, his nightly Roma habit had quietly set the stage for a clot to form in his brain while he slept. Leon recovered after months of therapy, but his confidence was shaken. He told me, "I thought I was being healthy. I didn't know lettuce could do that." And that's the lesson here. It's not that Roma is bad, it's that timing and context matter after sickness. Even small changes in hydration or blood thickness can have big effects. So here's how to protect yourself. Shift your salad. Enjoy Roma at lunch when your body is active and hydrated, not late at night. Hydrate smart. If you do eat leafy greens in the evening, drink a small glass of water with them to support circulation. Be medication. If you're on diuretics or BP meds, talk with your doctor about how foods that pull water from your system might interact. Romaine lettuce can still be part of a healthy diet, but after 65, the wrong timing could quietly put your brain at risk. Eat it wisely, and it will stay your friend, not your enemy. Vegetable 4. Raw carrots. The sweet snack that can turn risky after sick. Carrots have always carried the image of being one of the healthiest snacks around. Crunchy, low in calories, naturally sweet and full of beta-carotene for the eyes, they're often the go-to guilt-free treat in many refrigerators. But here's the surprising truth. For seniors, especially when eaten raw and at the wrong time, carrots can quietly disrupt blood sugar and circulation in ways that raise your risk of stroke while you sleep. Here's what happens inside your body. Raw carrots are digested quickly, releasing natural sugars into the bloodstream. In younger adults with strong insulin response, this isn't much of a problem, but in older adults, particularly those with pre-diabetes, type 2 diabetes, or circulation issues, even a modest evening spike in blood sugar can set off a dangerous chain reaction. Your blood sugar rises after snacking on raw carrots at night. In response, your body releases insulin to bring it down, but seniors often have slower or exaggerated insulin responses. That means your blood sugar may crash too low during the night, a condition called nocturnal hypoglycemia. When that happens, your body panics. Stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline surge, tightening your blood vessels and spiking your blood pressure, combined with the overnight dehydration many seniors already experience. This environment makes your blood more prone to clot, and when that clot forms in one of the brain's tiny arteries, the result can be a stroke by morning. That's exactly what happened to Leah Henderson, a 78-year-old retired nurse from Portland. Leah had always been proud of her healthy habits. She cut out processed sweets and replaced them with raw vegetables, especially carrots. "It's my bedtime snack," she told me, proudly. But over time she began waking up dizzy, confused, and sometimes tingling in her hands. She brushed it off as just aging. Then one morning, she couldn't remember how to make coffee, the same simple routine she had followed every day for 40 years. Her husband rushed her to the ER where tests revealed she had suffered a mild stroke. Doctors found blood sugar fluctuations overnight, and signs of microclotting in the brain's vessels. Her healthy carrot habit, eaten raw at the wrong time, had quietly tipped her body into danger. Leah recovered, but she now warns her friends, "I thought I was doing everything right. I never imagined carrots could hurt me." So what's the takeaway for seniors? Carrots aren't the enemy. They're still a wonderful source of vitamins and antioxidants, but they need to be eaten wisely. Avoid eating them raw and alone at night. Save them for the daytime when your body handles blood sugar swings more effectively. Pair them with protein or healthy fat. Hummus, boiled eggs, or a handful of nuts helps slow sugar absorption. Watch your pattern. If you notice confusion, dizziness, or fatigue in the mornings, talk to your doctor about your evening eating habits. Carrots can still be part of a brain-healthy diet, but after 60, even the sweetest snack comes with rules. Timing and pairing make the difference between healing and harm. Vegetable number 5. Vegetable number 5. Garlic. Natural medicine or silent risk for your brain. For centuries, garlic has been celebrated as one of nature's miracle foods. It lowers blood pressure, supports the heart, fights infection, and boosts immunity. Many seniors even take garlic supplements or add raw cloves to their meals, believing they're doing their bodies a world of good. And often they are. Garlic truly does carry powerful benefits. But here's the part most seniors don't hear. For older adults, especially those taking blood-thinning medications, garlic can quietly tip the balance from protection to danger, sometimes with devastating consequences. Here's why. Garlic is a natural anticoagulant. It thins the blood and reduces clot. On its own, that can lower the risk of heart attack and stroke. But combine it with common medications like Warfarin, Plavix, Xarelto, or even a daily low-dose aspirin, and you've doubled the effect. The blood may become too thin, leaving fragile aging vessels vulnerable to bleeding. And in the brain, that kind of bleeding can be catastrophic. Let me tell you about Thomas Reeves, an 81-year-old retired railroad engineer from Missouri. After a minor heart procedure, Thomas was prescribed a blood thinner. Wanting to boost his health naturally, he began taking a 600 ml supplement every morning, plus an extra raw clove in his dinner each night. He never told his doctor. He didn't think it mattered. 3 weeks later, Thomas began having severe headaches, light sensitivity, and nausea. Then one evening, his speech slurred and he collapsed. At the hospital, scans revealed a hemorrhagic stroke, a bleed inside his brain. His blood had become so thin that a small vessel simply ruptured. When we reviewed his supplements and medications, the cause became clear. It wasn't the medication alone. It wasn't the garlic alone. It was the dangerous combination of the two. Thomas told me later, his voice weak, "I was just trying to help my heart. I had no idea I was setting myself up for this." That's the lesson here. Garlic is not harmless just because it's natural. In fact, supplements are often far more concentrated than the cloves you add to cooking. For an aging body on prescription medications, that extra boost can quietly turn healing into harm. So here's how to use garlic safely after. Check with your doctor first. If you're on any blood thinners, don't add garlic supplements without medical guidance. Stick to food form. Garlic used in cooking is usually safe in moderate amounts, but supplements can push your blood chemistry too far. Watch for warning signs: easy bruising, frequent nosebleeds, unexplained fatigue, or new headaches may be signals your blood is too thin. Garlic is still a powerful ally for your health, but at this stage of life, it must be treated with the same respect as a prescription drug. Used wisely, it can support your heart and immunity. Used carelessly, it can quietly raise your risk of brain bleeds. Vegetable number 6. Onions. Flavorful, healing, but not always. Vegetable 6. Harmless after 6. Onions are one of the most common and versatile vegetables in the kitchen. They're celebrated for their antioxidants, their ability to lower cholesterol, and their role in fighting inflammation. For decades they've been praised as a heart-healthy food. But here's what most seniors are never told. After 60, onions can quietly create risks for your brain and circulation, not because they are inherently bad, but because of how they interact with an aging body and common medications. The key compound in onions is core. This powerful antioxidant also acts as a natural vasodilator, meaning it relaxes and widens blood vessels. In younger people, this can help regulate blood pressure, but in seniors, especially those taking blood pressure medications or anticoagulants, this effect can become too strong. Here's what can happen. Excessive blood pressure drops. When onions and medication combine, blood pressure may dip too low, particularly at night. Reduced oxygen delivery. With lower pressure, the brain receives less oxygen and nutrients, leaving it more vulnerable. Reactive vessel constriction. The body sometimes responds by suddenly tightening vessels again, which can encourage clot formation. Stroke risk. This unstable cycle of dilation and constriction creates the perfect conditions for microclots to lodge in fragile brain arteries. Another factor is timing. Eating large amounts of raw onions in the evening can amplify these effects overnight. When hydration is low, and the body is already more prone to blood pressure fluctuations, seniors with pre-existing cardiovascular disease, atrial fibrillation, or circulation issues are at even higher risk. That doesn't mean you should avoid onions completely. In fact, when used wisely, they still provide tremendous health benefits, but after 60, they should be treated with respect and moderation. Practical tips for seniors. Use onions as flavor, not the main dish. A few slices cooked into meals are safer than large raw serving. Prefer cooked onions. Cooking mellows quercetin's impact on blood pressure and makes onions easier to digest. Avoid heavy nighttime portions. Shift onion-rich meals to lunch when your circulation is stronger and hydration levels are higher. Watch for symptoms. Morning dizziness, foggy thinking, or unexplained fatigue may signal your pressure is dropping too low. Onions are still a valuable part of a brain-healthy diet, but like many foods, they come with new rules after. Balance, timing, and awareness can help you enjoy their flavor and benefits, without unintentionally putting your brain and circulation at risk. Vegetable 7. Corn, sweet and familiar, but quietly dangerous after 6. For many of us, corn feels like comfort food. A warm side dish at a cookout, a bowl of grits at breakfast, or corn on the cob in summer. It's part of American tradition. It looks innocent, it tastes sweet, and it's been eaten for generations. But here's what most seniors don't realize. Nutritionally, corn behaves far less like a vegetable, and far more like a starch. That means when you eat corn, your body quickly converts its natural sugars into glucose, raising your blood sugar much like a slice of white bread would. And after 60, that shift matters more than ever. Why? Because many older adults already struggle with slower insulin response and reduced circulation to the brain. Here's what happens inside your body when you eat corn, especially in the evening. Rapid blood sugar spike. Corn raises glucose levels quickly, forcing the body to release insulin. Overreaction in seniors. Aging bodies often release insulin too slowly, or sometimes in excess, which means blood sugar doesn't fall smoothly, it can crash. Hormonal surge overnight. When sugar dips during sleep, your body pumps out stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline to compensate. Vessel stress and clot risk. These hormones tighten blood vessels and raise blood pressure in fragile aging arteries. That combination of thickened blood and pressure swings creates the perfect environment for small clots to form. This roller coaster effect doesn't just tire you out, it can quietly raise your stroke risk. Seniors with diabetes, pre-diabetes, high blood pressure, or vascular disease are especially vulnerable. Another hidden problem with corn is that it is low in essential nutrients compared to other vegetables. While it offers fiber, it lacks the powerful antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds found in leafy greens or berries. That means you're not getting much protective benefit, but you're still dealing with the glucose impact. So does this mean you must cut corn out entirely? Not necessarily, but after 60, you must eat it with caution. Practical tips for seniors. Avoid eating corn alone. Pair it with protein or healthy fats. For example, corn with beans, eggs or avocado to slow down sugar absorption. Don't eat corn at night. The late evening spike and crash cycle is particularly risky during sleep, when hydration is lower, and the brain is more sensitive to circulation changes. Limit frequency. Instead of daily corn grits or corn flakes, treat corn as an occasional side dish. Choose whole forms, Fresh corn on the cob is less processed than cornmeal or flakes, which digest even faster. Corn may seem like a safe, familiar staple, but after 60, it can quietly set your brain and blood vessels on a dangerous path if eaten the wrong way. By limiting when and how you eat it, you can still enjoy the taste without paying the hidden price. Vegetable number 8. Asparagus. Vegetable tsin seat, elegant on the plate, but draining from within. Asparagus has long been seen as a clean vegetable, light, elegant, often served in healthy meal plans or detox diets. It seems like one of the safest choices you could make for seniors who want to avoid heavy, greasy foods. Asparagus feels like a smart upgrade. But here's the hidden truth. Asparagus is a natural diuretic. That means it gently encourages your body to release water, and while that might sound harmless, even beneficial for flushing the system, after 60, it can quietly set the stage for serious problems, especially when eaten at night. Here's why. Aging kidneys are less efficient. By the time we reach our 70s or 80s, the kidneys don't regulate fluids as effectively as they used to. Thirst signals weaken. Seniors often don't feel thirsty, even when the body is dehydrated. Blood vessels are more fragile. With age, arteries stiffen and can no longer handle rapid changes in blood volume as easily. When asparagus pulls water out of the bloodstream, it reduces blood volume. That makes the blood thicker. Think syrup instead of water moving through your artery. And thick blood is more likely to clot, especially in the tiny vessels that feed the brain. Combine that with blood pressure medications, or blood thinners, which many seniors already take, and the risks multiply. The danger is greatest at night. If you eat asparagus at dinner, its diuretic effect continues while you sleep. Your body is already in a more dehydrated state. You're not drinking fluids, and your blood thickens quietly. That's when a small clot can form and block oxygen to the brain, triggering a stroke before morning. This doesn't mean asparagus is bad. It's still rich in vitamins A, C, E and K along with fiber and antioxidants that support healthy aging, but like many foods, it comes with new rules after 6. Practical tips for seniors. Don't eat asparagus late at night. Enjoy it at lunch or earlier in the day when you can stay hydrated. Hydrate with intention. If you include asparagus in your diet, pair it with a glass of water or a hydrating food like cucumber or melon. Be mindful if you take diuretics or BP med. Asparagus can intensify their effect, so always check with your doctor about safe combinations. Watch for early warning signs. Morning dizziness, fatigue or dry mouth may be subtle clues your body is running too dry. Asparagus can still be a wonderful part of your meals, but after 60, it must be eaten thoughtfully by adjusting timing and hydration. You can enjoy its elegance on the plate, without letting it quietly drain your brain and circulation while you sleep. Vegetable number 9, tomato. Fresh and wholesome, but a vegetable tsin 9-stroke mimic in disguise. Tomatoes feel like the definition of healthy eating. Sliced into salads, simmered into sauces, or blended into soups, they're light, refreshing, and often praised for supporting the heart, skin and vision. For decades many seniors have leaned on tomatoes as a safe, wholesome staple. But here's what most people don't know. After 60, tomatoes can quietly create problems in the brain and circulate, not because they're bad, but because of the chemical compounds inside them and the way aging bodies process food. Tomatoes are part of the nightshade family, and they contain 3 key compounds that can be risky for seniors: histamines and tyramine. These can trigger inflammation, constrict or dilate blood vessels unpredictably, and raise blood pressure in sensitive individuals. Solanine, a natural toxin found in nightshades, that in excess can irritate the nervous system, causing dizziness, numbness, or headache. Acidity. Tomatoes are acidic and frequent intake can interfere with electrolyte balance. Magnesium and calcium, which are essential for stable nerve signaling and vascular tone. When these effects stack up, especially in an aging brain with more fragile blood vessels, the result can look and feel like a stroke. Blurred vision, dizziness, slurred speech, headaches, or numbness in the limb. Doctors sometimes call this a stroke mimic, not caused by a clot or bleed, but by a sudden disruption in brain chemistry and circulation. The risk is higher for seniors who eat heavy tomato-based meals late in the evening. Combine tomatoes with other nightshades like peppers, eggplants, or potatoes. Take medications for blood pressure, circulation, or nerve health. Struggle with hydration or electrolyte balance. This doesn't mean you need to cut out tomatoes completely. They're still rich in lycopene, a powerful antioxidant that can protect the heart and skin, but after 60, they require moderation and smart timing. Practical tips for seniors: avoid heavy tomato meals at night. Soups, sauces, or stews before bed can quietly tip your chemistry toward instability. Pair with minerals. Eating tomatoes with magnesium-rich foods, like spinach or pumpkin seeds, can help balance their acidic effect. Watch your body signal. If you notice dizziness, phages, headaches, or swelling after tomato-heavy meals, don't dismiss it as just aging. Cook them gently. Cooking tomatoes can reduce their sulfur levels and make their antioxidants more available. Moderation is key. A few slices in a salad or sandwich during the day is safer than nightly bowls of tomato soup. Tomatoes are not villains, but after 60, even a food that once felt harmless can behave differently in your body. The key is to respect how your brain and circulation have changed with age. By eating them in moderation at the right time of day and in balance with other nutrients, you can still enjoy their benefits without falling victim to their hidden risks. Final wake-up call. Awareness is the real medicine. After hearing about these 9 ordinary vegetables and their hidden risks, it's natural to feel surprised, maybe even a little uneasy. After all, we've spent our whole lives being told to eat more vegetables for health, and for the most part, that advice is true. But what changes after 60 is how your body responds. Your kidneys don't filter the same way. Your blood vessels are more fragile. Your hydration needs change. And if you're on medications, blood thinners, blood pressure pills, or diabetes treatments, even foods once considered perfectly safe can shift the balance in dangerous ways. That's the real lesson here. It's not just about what you eat, but also when you eat it, how much you eat, and what else is happening in your body at the same time. A salad at lunch may strengthen you, but the same salad at night may quietly set you up for clotting or bleeding. Garlic in cooking may protect your heart, but garlic supplements combined with medication can thin your blood too far. Carrots can nourish your eyes and skin, but eaten raw before bed, they can disturb your blood sugar while you sleep. None of this means you should fear vegetables. What it means is that knowledge is power. By becoming aware of these interactions, you can adapt your diet to your age and turn food back into medicine, not a hidden threat. So here's what you can do right now. Simplify your choices. Choose whole, nutrient-dense foods that don't cause big swings in blood sugar or hydration. Time your meals wisely. Heavier or diuretic vegetables should be eaten earlier in the day, not late at night. Stay hydrated. Even a single glass of water in the evening can make a big difference for your brain and circulation. Talk to your doctor. Bring this knowledge into your appointment. Ask how your medications might interact with common foods you eat daily. You are not powerless. In fact, you are more capable than ever. With awareness, you can make small, intentional changes that protect your independence, your memory, and your future. Because at Ageless Vitality, we believe aging doesn't have to mean decline. It can mean wisdom. The kind of wisdom that listens to the body, adapts, and thrives. So now, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these vegetable rules surprised you the most? And will you be making changes to when or how you eat them? Drop your answers in the comments below. Your story might inspire someone else. If you found this video helpful, Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss the next senior health tip that could change your life. And remember, what you put on your plate today becomes the strength, clarity, and independence you carry into tomorrow. Here's to living not just longer but stronger, sharper, and wiser.